Another shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Another shot is gonna hit you with a mind overloaded. The bar is always open with no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Just remember, everything we say is just our opinion. But then again, it might be the alcohol talking. It might be the alcohol talking. Let's go.
Welcome to another Shot Podcast, where our opinions might be real, or it could just be the liquor talking. Sit back and enjoy another shot.
Oh, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Shot Podcast, Monday Night Bartender. And I guess I gotta answer a question already. The short answer, not for you, brother. You've had your chances. You're done. So we're gonna squash that one right now. But this is the night where I like slinging drinks and answering questions. Trying to bring back that old school mentality where you go to your bartender with your day-to-day, get my opinion, get my So yeah, that one is going to be the big B, and congratulations, you get to be the very first one banned. See ya. You know, sometimes in the bar world, you give customers an opportunity over and over and over and over again. But you know, it's as they always say, the definition of insanity is repeating the same process over and over, hoping for that different ending, reaction, whatever. But yeah, so not gonna lie, guys, my happy ass is tired tonight. It was one giant sweat box. So honestly, enough about me. I actually want to hear from everybody else. I am trying to get my mind wrapped around. You know, I had this conversation with somebody before. What's your take, Kitty Cat, on making friends and camaraderie at work? I would ask her right in the middle of her enjoying dinner. So, to me, you know, I'm not saying become best friends, but at the end of the day, there's something to be said about they say you shouldn't mix outside with with work, but is there really anything wrong with going out after work and having a drink with some people? You never know. You might form that bond with somebody, and before you know it, we bring it up again. What's going on, Arliss? Ball games and barbecues. I just kind of, I'm always that guy that I like meeting people. Hence the reason I do this show. I like making friends. I give everybody. Hell, I've been known to give everybody more than one chance. But I mean, sometimes you just kind of gotta know when to cut it loose. When it's time to say enough's enough. I've done what I can. What's going on, Dan? It's good to see both Arliss and Dan's in the house. I don't know. I'm just kind of, camaraderie work. I love it. I like making friends at work. Some people are that 8 in the gate. I just want to go in as long as I get along with everybody. And leave. I've never been that way. I mean, I'm that guy. I have to go in. Oh my gosh, we got the trifecta tonight. What's going on, Dylan? Oh, here it is. Yeah, why not? Let's see what happens. It's kind of like doing this show. I can honestly say I've made friends on here. Now, a lot of people who come on here, we've never met face to face. But I mean, that's not always. I don't know. It's not always a requirement. Miss Jan, hello, sweetheart. Oh, what you got?
Congratulations.
Jay is sleeping, but I'm here. She said congratulations.
I said congratulations. I got a message earlier. She got the job.
Oh, nice. Well, a big congrats goes out to Miss Jan. She was telling me about it the other day, and I'm trying to remember what the job was.
She's going to be working at home.
Oh, the new American dream. Me, I don't know. There's something about. I might be tired at the end, but I tell you what. I feel like. What's a good way to put it? Each day seems like it. Oh yeah, there's the thunder. I know. Each day there's a new challenge. There's and it's that sense of accomplishment at the end of the day for me. So I don't know. Why do you keep giving me the bug eyes? You're driving me nuts.
It's
like you got something you want to say.
It's not you. It's the noise outside.
Oh, I'm already on my second shot. Holy crap.
Ooh, I like that one.
What's up?
No, it's not congrats to me, Dan. It's congrats to Jan.
Jan
she got the job.
What's to say? I'm going to start calling Dan.
Danny McPhee at this point.
But no, at the end of the day, Arliss, we'll just go ahead and throw it out there now. You know who just picked up the big B. So, Dan, guys, you don't have to worry about multiple bow tie comments and all that other stuff. Apparently, he doesn't take rejection very well.
No.
Because when I said, dude, not tonight, nope, you're done. Gave you enough chances. He dropped the big B on me, and then Kat hit him with the big B, and
lots of bees.
There's a lot. It was the killer bees tonight. But no, like I was saying, I don't know. I'm one of those ones that what's a good way to put it? I hate turning my back on people. I hate saying no. Those are two things that I really can't stand. And that goes all the way back to, I've been down. I've hit that rock bottom and had to climb my way back up. And I did it with help. So whenever I see somebody that says, they need a hand, they need a person, they need an ear, I try to be that one that jumps. And I'm noticing as of late, I don't know, maybe I'm starting to harden up just a little bit too, There's only so many times. What?
Carla said I would have threw in a couple F's.
Nah, he literally popped on right at the beginning of the show, and he acted like
we weren't even out of our intro, and I had comments in our.
But no, it's a good example. This individual, he was one of the originals on here. He used to come in all the time. At first, it was enjoyable. It was fun. But then the question came up: could he be the third amigo? And it's something when even my former co-host would tell him, "No, we're solid. We're good." We went ahead and gave him a spot. Even we called it the
report.
Yeah, the report. And like I said, it was fun for a little while, but this specific
Never make
individual,
me happy.
It was always he needed more. He needed more. Well, we'd be trying to do something, we'd be trying to talk about something, and he would throw a bunch of stuff up there, I need to talk. And then when you put him on, all of a sudden it was...
Dylan wants to know if it's the same person you discussed.
Yes, it was. It was. Arliss, Dan, all you guys, trust me, Jan, every one of you in the chat knows exactly who this dude is. And I have a point behind it. It's not a rant. I'm cluing everybody in on this. It just kind of, it brings up a good topic, the subject.
I will keep him in my prayers as he has been since Thursday. But I just want to say I told you so. He did sprain his ankle and he did tore a muscle.
So it was both. I figured when all that bruising and, discoloration the next day.
I just want to say I told you so.
Was that necessary?
Yes.
You feel better?
Yes.
Oh. Jan, no offense, that's a woman for you.
Thank you, Jan.
But yeah, we put up with this individual disrespecting other guests, trying to hog all the attention. Everything always had to be about him. And yeah, there's only so many times. I mean, when you disrespect the guests, I mean, you really crossed the line. And then it got to the point where he started disrespecting me. He's even disrespected Steve in the past. He's disrespected Kat. I don't think there's anybody in here, and there's only so many times. That's why I say there's, when. Okay, guys, yeah, it's a bar, but let's say this was actually a cash bar. At some point, even the bartender will say, "Dude, you're done. You're out of here," and that's what we ended up having to do.
Dylan says, well, hopefully getting rid of the problem will make ratings gain.
Well, that was the
Fingers crossed.
Well, that was the other thing. And I've had conversations with so many different people. People did not want to come on because of this.
Arla said, did me twice and Jason.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, it got to a point. Arliss, I'll tell you right now, my hat's off to that gentleman. He actually came on with this individual after he had already stated he wanted nothing to do with it, well, he was going to comment. It's not like he was banning us, but he bit a lip and came on and just went with the flow. But I mean, after so long, it's just kind of, that we say it all the time. I mean, the show's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be upbeat. Yeah, this particular one has a little more seriousness to it. We dig into some more topics, but it's just, I kind of put it on myself. Like I said, I hate turning away from people. I hate saying no, but I mean, it gets to a point where when you start getting so many complaints and people not wanting to come on here because of a specific individual, at the end of the day, that's just bad business all day long.
He says,
And we
I did
appreciate
that
that,
for you
brother.
guys. And yes.
100%. And
That is
you,
true.
Jason, I think Dan's done it. Dylan, he's never fully got to meet this individual, but he got to see the antics one night. So, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, I mean, I'm going to go back to it where it's supposed to be light, upbeat, fun, and I mean, I still invite everybody to come on, and if you got questions, if you got, if you had a bad day, I mean, again, I'm trying to bring back that old school bartender vibe. I don't care to talk, but what do we got? You gotta do what you need to do. Yeah, I know. What do you say? Yeah. He was one of those ones, again, it's another learning curve. Okay, that's why whenever we do invite people to come on live. There's certain rules you got to abide by now, and all it took was one to do that. Now, trust me, I'm going to be a little more cautious. This person liked to come on here and constantly saying, "Oh, I've had a bad day. I need to talk. And as soon as you bring them on, the last thing he wanted to do was talk about that. Dishonesty, disloyalty, you name it, this dude crossed all those lines. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and, like I said, by the way, guys, my producer is absolutely petrified of thunderstorms. And we got a really gnarly one going on right now. Me personally, I like them. I do, especially when it's bedtime. I have the best night's sleep.
Dan is wondering if letting the kids listen to the song Santa Claus is Satan is a good idea.
I have not heard this one.
Dylan says, yes, let them hear it. It's your destiny. Arla says, maybe Sunday I'll make a trip to the studio. Yeah, I still have to talk to you about Sunday.
I haven't heard this song. We're going to have to look that one up.
Okay, well, I was just literally.
Santa Claus is Satan. It's kind of weird how all you got to do is switch just 2 letters. And Santa becomes Satan. Big jolly guy, all dressed in red. Comes down the chimney. What's in the chimney fire? Kind of weird. Yeah, it's supposed to be a religious thing. I don't know. Every year, though, we hope that big man drops down our chimney, though. Of course, I'm getting to that. I think last year is the last year for Santa at my house because my youngest has hit that age. Now, does she still like to do the, I'm
Christmas time. All my Christian friends are putting up.
is somebody what?
Been waiting for a big red elf. That's right, I said a big red elf. Come down there, chickens. Impervious. Fires with it. Let's go.
You know what's weird? I'm listening to the lyrics and I'm not just saying the exact same stuff.
special. Lord, material possession. I got to thinking about this.
Wow.
Before you're away from a tree for Christmas, I've come up with a little bit of a theory about it. You might really be.
To answer your question, Dan, on this one,
Christmas is a special time. It's the birth of Christ.
and you let him in your house because he said he had candy, presents, your kids. I guess one could say the sleigh does take on the weird chick with the panel, man.
Dylan, that would just be wrong.
What?
Just let me do the voice of Winnie the Pooh and say Santa was delicious.
Dude, I don't know what it is about it. I mean, honestly, I think we are like systematically trying to destroy our own childhood. So we got a song like this that's making fun of Santa, kind of putting a dark twist on the whole thing. You can bring up Winnie the Pooh, Dylan. They've got, what is that? Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and then there's another one. They got a great movie called The Mean One. And now they're coming out with a Mickey Mouse movie, Steamboat Willie.
Just can't do that.
It's about an oversized rat that goes, a human-sized rat that kills people on a riverboat. If I'm not mistaken, actually, it's in Ohio. What are some of the other ones out there right now? I can't remember what it's called, but they did a dark twist on Popeye the Sailor. You know, we can even talk about the porn industry. I mean, look at all the different parodies, the Flintstones, the Addams Family, all these family-friendly stuff. They just turn around and they're making it like dark and I guess the best way to put it is perverted. What's it say? I like our version of sin. I'm messing with it. Oh, yes. You know,
The
for
Night
somebody who-
Bartender went crazy by Weird Al.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, for a person that always claims to be old school, I think back to my youth and childhood, and then it's just, you turn on TV, they got, what is it? They got the dark side of like Nickelodeon or whatever that was. Talking about the kids from all those late 90s, early 2000s shows and all the bad stuff. It's like, what are we trying to do here? Honestly, I mean, it's taking all the fun of our childhood and just showing that, you know, it came with a price, that it wasn't as need to go gotcha, brother. We'll probably be on TikTok a little later on here, so you're more than welcome to join there too. Are You Afraid of the Dark was dude, I tell you what, that was honestly one of my all-time favorites. I love, and it scared the crap out of me as a kid. And then that's one of the ones that has stood the test of time. My son has a whole bunch of like the Goosebumps movies, the like the original ones. He's got the books. My daughter absolutely loves the entire Are You Afraid of the Dark series. I don't know. I remember, growing up,
Dead Man's Float.
I'm trying to remember which one that was. Everyone likes Dr. Bink. Bink with a B. She's actually got a lot of them memorized. As a kid growing up, the longest time I was scared to death of horror movies. But yet I was still fascinated by them. Like when I would go to the video store to rent a movie, I'd always walk to the horror section, and I'd look at it, and I'd still read it and see what it's about. And, remember, I grew up during the beginning of Nightmare on Elm Street. The Friday the 13th. My neighbors used to come over back when they would bring the projector over. And as soon as I would go to bed, me and my brothers, they'd set the projector up and they'd be watching Friday the 13th Part 2. Of course, they had some adult stuff they would sit down and watch. But I mean, my dad was a big horror movie fan for a while. And it wasn't until I hit my mid-teens that I really got into what is it? Good abbreviation. I'm going to come around there for a second. See that, we're going to have to get a bigger screen.
Bobby said it was a good observation.
On the current culture, let's see what we got. We are seeing this manifest in socialism. Oh my goodness. Oh, here we go. One tenet is to destroy the traditional family. When they go for Santa and Mickey and Pooh, destroy childhood. That'll actually work better. Let's just go ahead and do it that way. Thank you. I was part of one of those big cabinet Zenith. Oh, God, yeah. Tales from the Crypt. I've got the entire series right now. There's not a movie out there anymore that I don't even jump. Jump scares don't do anything to me. There's a rare occasion where I'll get that, ooh, that didn't see that one coming, but even horror movies today, I mean, it's more, everything's supernatural, more suspense than it is horror. Slasher movies, you had Jason, Michael Myers, Leatherface, Pinhead, all those guys. I mean, you knew who the killer was. The fun part was, who are they going to get and how are they going to do it? So, for the most part, like with Jason, I mean, Freddy was the best at it. Because he always came up with some ingenious way of getting people. It wasn't always the blade on the hand. Michael Myers was, straightforward. He was big kitchen knife, door to door, basically. I mean, I like Michael Myers, but I never fully dug into that one. Dylan knows the guy that did the voice of the Crypt Keeper. He was telling me about that. What was his name? If I'm not mistaken, was it John Kaiser or something like that? I had an opportunity. He actually came through the Monroeville Comic Con. Or, I'm sorry, it's called the Steel City Con. I missed the opportunity to get to meet him. That's something, Kitty Cat, that we got to keep an eye on. Those are certain things I wouldn't mind going live to different places, and maybe even, I mean, I'm sure each and every one of them we have to maybe set up, there's going to have to be some sort of payment, but to sit down and like interview all the, certain individuals. The last one I went to was Return of the Living Dead. I got to meet my childhood crush, and that was Linnea Quigley. And even in her 60s, gorgeous. She holds up well. My God, I could talk about movies all night long, honestly. It's almost the point where I almost want to like devote one night to just straight up movies. As much as I like sports, I'm one of the biggest movie geeks ever. I've been chomping at the bit. I don't know how many times I've watched Jaws because it's the 50th anniversary. And now they're talking about doing a special cut that actually is going to have the deleted scenes that Spielberg did not put in the original. So, it's going to be a lot more gruesome, a lot more violent. They had to tone it down Because back in that time, it didn't take much to get an X rating. There was a lot of movies that had to be cut. Stephen King ran into that problem a lot, especially when he did Maximum Overdrive. When the ratings, when the MPAA sat down with them, they went, "No, we really gonna have to do something about this." I was right, and a little fun fact: he actually did it wasn't a cameo, but he had a very small part in one of the Tales from the Crypt. He showed up for he was there in the beginning. You thought he got killed off, then he showed up in the end. That was actually a really good episode. I mean, it had a lot of big names in it. Priscilla Presley, Lou Diamond Phillips, of course, Sean Kaiser made his appearance in it. That was even Sarah, who hates horror movies, will sit down and watch Tales from the Crypt. They made it fun. And I can even remember the very first episode I watched. But I tell you what, the closer we get to Halloween, I'm telling you, I really start getting into the horror movie aspect of everything. Usually, it used to be my son. Now it's my daughter. She can't wait. And yeah, we're nerds like this. Disney's one of our favorite things to turn on at Halloween time because they always have, going back to the childhood, they had some really good stuff. But she is more starting to get into, she loves the Insidious movie. She likes the Annabelle movies. And I try to pick the ones that aren't going to fully. What is it, The Wicker Man?
Working Man.
The Working Man. I haven't heard about that one yet. There was one that popped up the other day I'd love to check out. Me and Sarah sat down and watched. It's called The Invitation. And it was loosely based on Dracula. When I say loosely, I mean they had small call-outs to Dracula where it was Insidious, tiptoe through the tulips. That'll probably be the next one. And on a side note, Tiptoe Through the Tulips was done by a gentleman named Tiny Tim. Well, that was a stage name. Who turned around and did he was in a really campy, it was just the side of adult skin thing. But it was called Blood Harvest. And if you get the opportunity, Dylan, check that one out. He definitely plays a creepy character, and he did good at it. But so back to this, The Invitation. The premise is, this girl she does basically like a 23andMe, and she finds out, she meets a cousin and guy from the BB. Okay. I know what you're talking about now. Jason Statham. Okay. I think I see. Is it on Max? If I'm not mistaken. I have to check that one out. Of course, I'm not just a horror movie buff. I love action movies. I still to this day think Lethal Weapon is one of the best buddy cop movies ever. The first Lethal Weapon ranks right up there with the first Die Hard movie. I think they're both Christmas movies, personally. That'll open up a whole ball of wax. But The Invitation, the girl she does that, 23andMe. Cousin reaches out and he says, "Hey, I've got family. Here's the rest of the family. How'd you like to come meet them?" And turns out, the house is run by vampires. and the head vampire, as long as they keep, giving him, as long as he can have 3 wives and they keep him full of blood, he basically protected the area. But he was still, as they say, a snake's a snake, a vampire's a vampire. It's still sinister. It wasn't scary, but it wasn't bad either. Jason Statham. I liked him in the first and second Transporter. After that, they started getting cheesy. Today's movies, one of my all-time favorites right now, partly because it's all our favorite action stars from the past, is The Expendables. And I think Stallone and Statham make an awesome combination. These two are just, they feed off each other so well. It's hilarious. And to see Dolph Lundgren play like kind of not exactly a dimwit character, but you can tell he's not as sharp as everybody else, but he's one of the more violent ones on the group. It's just fun to see these guys stepping out a little bit, and I think Stallone did a good thing there. I still personally feel like he made those movies to kind of combat the crap that's been coming out today. It's like, guys, it wasn't broke. Why fix it? Let me show you. Look who he's bringing. He had Van Damme in there, Chuck Norris. He's brought everybody back that we grew up watching and rooting for. That's probably why, my oldest would prefer to sit back and watch, Bloodsport, Cyborg, Terminator, all the older ones, Predator. He gets the biggest kick out of these. Oh, we went past the mark, didn't we? Guys, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some movies some more. I think that is going to be the subject of the night. And we'll see where we go from there. Whoops. Dealer's choice. What you got, girl? House of the Rising Sun. Arliss, you should know this one well. This is the Southern Outlaw Band's version of House of the Rising Sun. Guys, we'll be right back.
They call
Oh, we back. Welcome back, guys. If you're just joining us, this is our Monday Night Bartender, and the theme of the night apparently is movies. Now, Arliss, I have watched bits and pieces of the Tulsa King, but I always end up starting. I end up getting into something I'm binge watching right now. I'm trying to binge watch Cheers. I've been binge watching that ever since George Wendt died. And of course, everybody knows George Wendt was Norm.
Speaking of Norm, where's your frosted Cheers cup?
Inside. I should probably be using the other mug right now because it's been in there since yesterday.
Sorry.
Alone. I mean, very, very rare do you
Camera issues.
Trying to go uphill.
Again, I'm having camera issues.
I do like Stallone. Most of the stuff he touched turns to gold. He's very, very devoted, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera as well. And for those of you that are not movie geeks, the hand he played in Rocky, he wasn't just the star. It was to the point where when they brought in Carl Weathers, Stallone got in there with him. They went a couple rounds, just playfully sparring and, going over lines and everything. Carl Weathers made the comment, he does his best work if they actually bring in a real actor. And they're like, well, actually, the guy you're in there with is the star of the movie. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Rocky go on? I don't think it went on to do Academy Awards, but it was award winning. And of course, it did 5 sequels, 6 including Rocky Balboa. There we go. Got the head moving. I don't know, but like all movies, when you go too far, when you do too many of them, they end up going stale. So I thought the third one was decent. I like how they kind of did the twist. Mickey dies. Rocky finally loses. Well, it's not the first time he loses, but he finds out that he wasn't as good as he originally. Mickey kind of carried him. He didn't fix it, but he carried him, protected him. He knew he wasn't able to really compete with the big boys. And then in comes Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, trains him, and brings out that part that Mickey never could. It's kind of the old school meets the new school, and he goes in and destroys Mr. T. The fourth one being the best one. I think a lot of that was based on the soundtrack, though. The soundtrack to the fourth was the best. And even Stallone says he, to this day, regrets the fifth one. Rocky Balboa, I like that underdog. Definitely updated the whole thing. And then he passed the torch on to Michael Johnson. Or Michael B. Jordan, sorry. Michael B. Jordan. As Apollo's son. That's why it's called Creed. He's in the first 2. Of course, the third one, he wasn't in. He wasn't, he didn't like the direction it was going. There's supposed to be a 4th one out, and Stallone is coming back. So they gave him a little bit more creative freedom in this next one coming out. But hopefully they don't stretch it out past a 4th one. At this point, leave it be. Rocky 4 is the best one by far. I like the story. And you know what? What's weird was like the third one when Mickey died. Like you felt bad, and you hated it for the character, for Rocky because he kind of went downhill for a little bit. But then when Apollo died, like that one, it seemed like that hit everybody. That tugged at everybody's heartstrings. And the fact that at that time we were still really, let's just say we were still really bitter with Russia. So,
Hola, Juliana.
hola, ¿cómo estás, Juliana? How's things going, beautiful? Kitty Cat made a observation a little while ago. I've been standing behind this bar the whole time without making a drink.
It's fine that you're not making a drink. You can come sit down. Oh, I'm sorry you're sick.
Oh, come on. I tell you what, summertime colds are the worst.
I tell you what, my sinuses have been insane with the go into the cold and out to the warm and into the cold and out to the warm. My sinuses can't take it.
Knock on wood, it hasn't hit me this year.
It's just starting. We're only in the beginning of July.
Yeah, but, on a side note, too, we are literally about a month away from football coming back in. So our Thursday Thoughts and Shots will become, I don't know.
Thirsty Thursday sports night again.
Good. You know what makes this song stand out to me? I went to the kickboxing match. What's up, Blue? When I went to the kickboxing matches in Butler, they held them at the skating rink. The main event, the hometown hero, came out to this song. And they hit it right at, this looks like a job for me. So, when he came out. And he won. I'd like to know if he's still out there, I haven't seen his. I think he shut down, honestly. Last I heard, he was trying to fly in somebody from might have been Hungary. There's a kickboxing champ from over there. He was trying to bring, trying to fly in. He was going to set him up with, hotel and everything, and they were going to have a match. So I don't know if it would have been for the title, but that's the last I heard, and then everything just kind of disappeared off the face of the planet. But next to horror movies, I'd have to say I really love, for obvious reasons, I love martial art movies. I really do. And there was a company out of China called Golden Dragon. Those guys, they were on point. They kind of, it's kind of like the same group that did, the Bruce Lee movies, the Chinese Connection, Fist of Fury. What you got, girl?
I was going to ask you, when you say martial arts, would you be going the Bruce Lee route, or would you be going Chuck Norris route?
Both.
I can follow the Chuck Norris route. I could go there all day with you.
You didn't like Bruce Lee movies?
I confuse easily.
Well, bear in mind, in the third official Bruce Lee movie, Return of the Dragon, that was the famous fight between Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris in the Roman Coliseum. And that's one question that neither one would never answer.
Who won?
Who honestly
truly
would have been the real deal. And I mean, honestly, I heard somebody say that Ed O'Neill is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And they did this big thing on Bruce Lee, and was he the father of mixed martial arts? Because Bruce Lee, he had to know everything about every art that he could get his hands on. So when Judo Gene LaBelle got in there and pretty much tossed him all over the place, he had to go in and learn judo. And Judo Gene taught him. Hapkido, Tai Chi, I mean, he implemented so many different. He was not the father of mixed martial arts, but he was definitely a pioneer. So when I heard Ed O'Neill say that, I thought, that would make sense. There's always the famous debate: would Bruce Lee do well in the UFC? Again, the analogy was brought up. Put him in there against Brock Lesnar and see what happens. But bear in mind, though, Bruce Lee was the type of guy that, he was a true believer, and there was no such thing. When you're in a fight and you're defending yourself,
Size doesn't matter.
there is no fair fight.
Size doesn't matter. Look at how little Bruce Lee is.
Okay. So when you got a man that's going to, now, there are certain times size does matter. Let's take it clean, guys. Let's keep it clean. So you got Bruce Lee, who on his best day was maybe 130, 140 pounds. Brock Lesnar was walking around almost 300 pounds, solid muscle. Both are trained. Okay? So when you got two people that have very strong skill sets, yeah, at that point, size would play a big part in that. And that's why you have weight classes in boxing, weight classes in MMA, weight classes, most street professionals, your combat sports.
And then it also comes down to stamina.
Okay. So you're 130 pounds and you got a 300-pound man on top of you. Your stamina better be good. It's rare that I'm being the mature one here. Brock Lesnar would have took him down. He did done what he did with everybody. He'd have shot in, took him down. I'm sorry, in this case, size would have mattered. He'd have steamrolled right over on top of him.
You have to catch him first.
And there is no way.
You have to catch him first.
And when the ref turns, that's why I said, when the ref says, all right, that's a point for running. He loves another point for running. Now you're disqualified. You can't run. You have to fight.
Run.
Now, do I think Bruce Lee would have been able to dodge him a little bit? Maybe. But
or worm out of different holds and everything else because he's so tiny. He's just
so okay.
I'm not a Bruce Lee fan, and I'm defending him. What the heck?
Chances are we
we
would not see Bruce Lee versus Brock Lesnar. Okay. But I've actually got something that kind of strengthens your point here. We probably would not have seen Bruce Lee versus Brock Lesnar. That would have been probably some weird exhibition. There would have been all sorts of different roles involved. But Bruce Lee would have been a lightweight, so he's going to have somebody that's going to be speed for speed. It'd have been interesting. What's he got?
He's going the same route my brain was going, not yours.
Now, the famous, the king of the cage, the winner of the first two Ultimate Fight. Actually, I think he holds the title for the most back when it was tournament style, back in the early days when UFC first came out. Royce Gracie. Now, the third one, he'd never been defeated. He had to bow out because he ended up breaking his hand on his fight when he took on chemo. But he was one of those guys that he would take on those big guys. So he actually, if I'm not mistaken, he went up against Akebono, who at the time was a Yokozuna. And yes, all you wrestling geeks, that is an actual sumo term. There's another fighter, Genki Sudo. He had a fun match in, I think it was either Pride or Pancrase. I don't know which one. I'm not going to try and push that one. But he took on Butterbean. And he did engage with him, but it would also piss you off because there's a lot of times where he would go in and Butterbean would immediately start, go in with his flurry and those power shots, and Jake would just turn around and try to run away. And the fun part is, the end of that fight, Janky took down Butterbean, who has no grappling skills. He's a boxer. He's a tough man. He ended up sinking in the heel hook, took him down, and ended up submitting him. So, I mean, those kind of go along with your side. Doesn't matter. But those are specific. Those are some specifics there. I mean, 9 times out of 10, the bigger guy is going to have the advantage over the little guy. When you're equally trained, is the best way to put it. Because I have personally seen this small guy. I mean, you ever try and pick up a kitty cat that didn't want to be picked up? What's that little fucker do?
You did just a little bit ago.
Well, I tried to hold him the wrong way, too. He does not like to be held. They scratch, they go, and then you end up letting go, and they run off, and trust me, you get the worst of the situation. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I will rephrase just if it helps out. Be fair. When you got 2 equally trained people, the bigger guy's going to have the advantage. So, on that note, I think we ought to go ahead and let's go ahead and dip out of here. We will do our last shot. I apologize for the beginning of the show, guys. I was I got thrown a curveball. I was tired. I had stuff I wanted to talk about, and everything kind of went out the window. And I need to stick on task. So
That's 2 nights in a row, by the way.
yeah, well,
You had a topic last night, and I threw you off. You had another one for tonight, and something else threw you off. So
we always have. Well, I have Wednesday night. Guys, check us out for our Wednesday night bartender. Miss Kitty Cat will not be joining me that particular night. It is going to. She's got something to do.
it's still up in the air. We're not sure what time we'll be returning.
Knowing where you're going, that's about a 2.5, 3 hour drive. So you got about 5 to 6 hours of driving. Yeah, good luck. I'll go ahead and I'll plan. Wednesday night bartender, Wednesday night open bar. Virtually, we sitting there in front of the camera. We're going to sit back and we got to make sure by the end of the night we have everything zoomed where it needs to be. What do you say?
We won't be back.
You're a negative Nancy, dude. That's all you do. You just, you huff and you puff, but you very rarely blow that house down. Maybe do my shot early. Thursday, Thursday night thoughts and shots. Sunday night weekend hangover, guys, and then we'll be back here next Monday. Business as usual. If you guys aren't doing it yet, I would suggest pick up TikTok, We do 2 shows a night now, most nights. You know, every now and then she's too tired or I'm too tired, and we just kind of turn around and go, yeah, we good. So, guys, at the end of the day, like I said, sometimes, I guess the best way to put it, we could be too nice to the point where, I don't know, it's just kind of, what's a good way to put it? Like, people will take advantage, people will, you know, sometimes we just have to finally turn around and say, guys, I can only get a horse with water, and you can't make it drink. So, make sure you wrap yourselves with people that definitely appreciate you, that, I don't know how to say this without sounding, you know what? Scratch all that. I'm not even trying because I'm still too pissed off over stuff. So at the end of the day, guys, there are good ships, there are wood ships, there are ships that sail the sea. But the best ships are friendships, and may they always be. Oh. Guys, if you're on TikTok, check us out next. That's where we're heading. If not, we'll see you Wednesday night. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you for stopping in and listening to the Another Shot podcast. We shared some drinks, stories, and laughs. But it's time to say goodnight. Join us next time on Another Shot podcast.
If you're looking for a party, then man, have you found it? Now the shot is coming raw and unbounded. Whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Now the shot is gonna hit you with the mind overloading. The bar is always open with no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Just remember, everything we say is just our opinion.